everyone, my name's Leila and we're starting this week's edition of Instagram Live. I'm just waiting for Joe Mondi to join us. Here he is. Hi Joe, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So my name's Leila Ostad. I'm the PowerBack program manager for an organization called A Partnership for Change. You can find us on the web at www.partnershipforchange.org. Organization is a nonprofit dedicated to ending dating abuse and domestic violence. And this is Joe Mondi, the PowerBack program assistant. And this week, what are we going to be discussing?
Yes, we wanted to just talk about basically the definition. It's a word that you probably see a lot on like social media and stuff, but gaslighting. So yeah, I just wanted to start off by asking you, like, what is the definition of gaslighting?
So different people might have different definitions for what gaslighting actually means, but what it means is to make someone question their sanity through psychological means. And that can be done in many different ways. And I'm not sure, Joe, if you know actually the movie Gaslight. It came out in 1944, I believe. It's based on a play that came out about 20 years earlier. It's a really great movie. And so that's where the definition actually, the word came from. And in the movie, a woman meets a man and they fall in love, and it happens very fast. Within 2 weeks, she moves in with him. And the house that he takes her to is very isolated. He isolates her and things start happening. So she puts certain things in like her purse or in a box, and she goes back to look for them and they're missing. And then later they'll be there when she goes back to look for them. Or there's a light on the outside of the door, and it will get bright and then it will dim. And she tells him like this is happening, and he's like, no, there's something wrong with you, like this is not happening. And there's also another scene where they have, I believe it's a maid or a helper there, and she says, I don't think that the maid likes me. And then he purposely flirts with the maid in front of her. And all this stuff makes her question her own sanity. And so she starts to like think, what's going on? Like, am I crazy? Like, why is this happening? And so, I'm not going to spoil it, but basically all of those things that were happening were actually happening. And maybe I will spoil it. He was, moving things around, and the light was flickering, and it was getting bright and going, it was getting bright and flickering, and she wasn't imagining it. Right. So basically the concept is the same. It's when someone in a relationship or someone, uses tactics to make you think that, not trust yourself, or think what they may say, I didn't say that, when they said it, or you didn't hear that, or I didn't do that, even though you have proof that they did it. And they say it so often that you believe it to be the truth, and then you start doubting yourself.
Right. Well, I actually wanted to go off of that. Could you describe sort of the effects that gaslighting has on a victim of that behavior?
Yeah, it can have a lot of effects. So the effects are you really lose your self-esteem, and you really lose if you believe in yourself, your sense of self, because they're creating such a doubt in your own mind. You no longer believe what's happening. So you're like, I must have imagined that, and now I can't really believe everything else. So you're much easier to manipulate when you don't even believe your own thoughts or what you're seeing, because you can't trust yourself. It creates a real lack of trust in yourself, and you're much easier to manipulate and to control.
Right. This, do you understand this to be a common form of manipulation that an abuser would, do to their victim?
Yeah, totally. And, a lot of times, sometimes it's helpful to write down things that they've said or you've said, so you can look back on it and you can know, I said this, like that is not, that is the truth, like that was said on that date. If they try and like play little mind games, or you know, it's a form of emotional abuse. And it leaves very lasting effects, because once you lose that sort of self-esteem or self-trust, it's really hard to gain it back, and it can be really difficult. So,
Right.
and it is very common, and it's hard to detect sometimes, especially when the isolation comes into play. If you're isolated, and you don't have anyone else to kind of lean on or to ask, you know, is this normal, or did that really happen? Or, and if someone's like feeding you this continually, it does create a lot of self-doubt.
Right. So you've kind of said two things there about what you can do if you find yourself thinking that you're the victim, or thinking but you're not sure if you're the victim of gaslighting, because it can be very, very confusing about whether or not you're being gaslit, because that's the nature of it, right? They're manipulating you to believe these things that are true or not true, or just doubting things about yourself. And so you said to write things down, and to talk about it with somebody. I think those are those are really good ideas for how to you know, how to fight this if you're unsure of it.
Yeah, totally. And I would say trust your gut. A lot of times when this happens, people feel like they can't trust their gut or follow their intuition because, you know, it's wrong. But I always say trust your gut, go with your instinct, talk to, you know, your friends and your family that will always have your back, and you know, and tell them about the situation, and reach out to, you know, teachers, counselors, if you have any doubts. If someone's trying to isolate you, that's a big warning sign. And if someone is playing these mind games, or if you know they've said something or done something, and they're telling you, you know, straight to your face, no, I haven't, that's a pretty big indicator that there's something wrong there.
Right. Right.
So,
And
yeah.
maybe we should even add too, I think it's, well, I just think it's important to say that if you don't find that, you know, you find that this is hard, or that this is wrong, that it's happening to you, but you don't fear that it's going to be a larger problem, a lot of times I think that we'll see emotional abuse or manipulative abuse move towards physical abuse. So it is something to look out for in your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it can totally move to physical abuse. It could also just stay as emotional abuse, and it's also has very serious, horrible, you know, repercussions.
Right.
So, you know, emotional abuse in itself is a horrible thing to be a part of or undergo, and if it does transition to physical abuse or happens at the same time as physical abuse, that's definitely something dangerous, and something, you know, we would love to support you getting help for and speaking to someone with, you know, and about, and yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So some news for our Instagram. We're actually going to be taking some time off from our weekly Instagram lives. We're going to remodel and come back, but we're going to take some time off now, and, you know, feel free to message us with some ideas for when we do come back. You know, DM us, comment, share the videos, let us know what you'd be interested in seeing. And yeah, that would be wonderful. So once again, my name is Leila, PowerBack Program Manager, and this is Joe Mondi, PowerBack Program Manager Assistant. PowerBack is a program dedicated to ending dating abuse, and is under the organization A Partnership for Change, a New Jersey nonprofit. You can find us on the web, apartnershipforchange.org. We have tons of resources. We have links to different programs. You can find out about our organization. We have resources. You know, drop us a note, leave us a comment, a DM. We love hearing from you guys, and we'll be in touch. So thanks, and thanks for being with us. Take care, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, Leila.
Bye.